And we have our next guest at De Welcome Arms.
Our mystery guest. Thanks
Surprise!
for joining us.
We have Kathleen Mullen from Regency Yacht Vacations with us. And Kathleen has been on the dock the last 2 days, and we're last day and a half, and we're hoping that she'll be able to share with us what it's like to be back on the dock, visiting boats physically rather than just virtually.
It's really interesting because there was a point a few years ago where you'd think to yourself as a charter broker, it's another boat show, it's another 3 months pass, I've got to get out on the dock, it's all so much work. Then we've spent, a couple of years really not going to any boat shows worldwide. And I didn't appreciate how much I enjoyed being on the dock, interacting with crew, and learning about boats. It's part of what brought me into the industry in the first place. And I now realize what a pleasure it is to have that opportunity. It's something that many people don't. And coming here the past couple of days out on the dock, the weather's been glorious. It's the perfect temperature where it's warm enough, but with a nice breeze so you feel cool. It doesn't bother you. It's all the best of what island living is about. And the boats on the dock, because some of them haven't been busy, it's started to pick up now and people are busy chartering. But in the past year, all of these boats have tackled the minutia of every little thing on their boat to make sure it looks amazing and works even better. And captains have spent a lot of time and energy talking about improvements and things that would be great for guests and ways to make everything function, where when they're so busy chartering, it's hard to have the time to implement them. In the past year, they've done that. So I think it's great to see the boats on the dock and see all the work that they've done, truthfully.
I know for me, just seeing the flags flying and all of the boats just in position, that in itself has been, just gets me pumped up. It just makes me feel excited for, it's a show. It's a real show.
Yes.
Is there anything in particular that really stands out to you? Is there anything, there's a couple of boats on the dock that you may never have seen. Are there?
You know what? There are a few new boats, and I think that we're going to see a few more new boats into the BVI. I think one of the things that I'll just reiterate, because many brokers don't seem to be necessarily thinking, the BVI is open to any of the BVI-based boats for chartering. But right at this moment, almost there's no place that you can book a cross-border charter with carrying clients. I don't care if you're talking about the Grenadines or it's been off and on St. Martin to St. Bart's. Can you go there? Can't you go there? It's great to have the whole playground of the British Virgin Islands available to the boats, but we do need to remember that at this moment in time, there are still those restrictions, so that you should sort of prepare your clients that you're going to be in this particular area and come into the BVI and get onto your boat. And one of the things that I find about the boats on the dock is that their crews are ready, they're willing, they're able, they've been solving problems, helping guests get re-entered through the portal. They've really bent over backwards to make sure that clients have a great experience. And because it has been quieter over the past year, many people who have been here recently have said what an amazing trip it was, because they didn't feel that it was overcrowded. They didn't feel the rush from Anchorage to Anchorage. They really enjoyed old school BVI.
Certainly one of some of the feedback from guests we've had on board has been that having the enforced relaxation time of a 4-day quarantine on board has made them relax into their vacation much more than maybe they would in the past.
True.
Because there's a lot less rush to get to the next location all the time.
Yes.
But also then once they are then free to explore the BVI as much as they wish to, that it feels like they're having two holidays. They're having two vacations because the first half is so chill and relaxing, and the second half is like, these are the 2, 3, 4 hotspots we really want to hit. They go and they just go all out to have a really great time in those locations, whether it's Sogidola or Anagada or Virgin Gorda. And that's have you been experiencing similar feedback from
Yes,
travelers?
I think that one of the things that the crew are finding is that clients are they're loving the fact that there's a bubble here and they feel safe. So the people who choose to come on charter are really happy to be doing it. They want to be traveling, but in general, even before requirements, they were vaccinated if they could be. They think about that, and they are really happy that this vacation is safe and the crew are vaccinated and that they don't have any worries the way they might if they were in other locations or a hotel ashore. So the idea of, you're right, having to stop for a day and just relax, go for a swim, have a drink, read your book. It's just a nice way to ease into being on vacation. And we're finding that the reaction has been positive all the way around.
I love the ingenuity of crew. They take that moment of release and they make a big celebration of it. So they, the guests sign the yellow flag. There's a ceremony around pulling down the yellow flag. They crack open the champagne. They have, their excursion they have planned and ready to go. And I just think that's crew at their best, really is making
Absolutely.
something big out of
a small moment.
Yes.
It's not the same when I don't think when you're staying ashore, people aren't paying attention to those details. And although there are always glitches from time to time, the crew are very familiar with the requirements and the people and who to contact and follow up on if they run into any delays or issues. And I think that's a big service as well. But in general, things have run smoothly, so that I don't know, one of the things that I like about being on the dock that I think I didn't appreciate as a broker before is the sense and the smells, the feeling of the breeze in the air, the food that the crew have, even if, whether it's a lunch on board or extra nibbles that they've put out, it's a sensory experience, and it's easy to miss that because that's what clients get. It's that feeling of, their cabin smells good, and they come up on deck, there's no pollution, it's clean air, they've got that nice salty air. It's a great experience to have, and we're focusing on some of those small moments and experiences these days.
Absolutely. That's something that you just can't translate virtually.
No,
so
unfortunately not.
Lucky for you right now that you are here and you're able to experience that.
So we do have one question from a broker, because recently you were in St. Thomas, and they're asking, how did you travel into the BVI? Did you come by ferry or flight, and how was your experience of traversing the border?
Oh, okay. I came by ferry, and that was the easiest for me. I did it maybe 2 days after the ferry started running, so it was pretty early. I tested a PCR test in St. Thomas at the lab there, uploaded it to the website. I did have to text them a question because I messed up on putting in where I was quarantined. They answered me at 10:30 at night, and I didn't have any holdups or problems getting it. I did it within the time frame, and I didn't find it difficult to do. But I also found that Lynette Harrigan was the best because she responds to everybody, and I don't know how that wonderful woman manages to do all those things. But
she never sleeps.
Yeah. And so I didn't find it stressful. When I first, I did 4 days of quarantine, so I have an apartment here, and I was allowed to quarantine at my own residence, so that wasn't a problem for me in particular. And as you mentioned, There was something relaxing about not being able to go anywhere for 4 days. I didn't find 4 days to be too much. It was easy. I could still work. I still had internet and the rest of it, but it was a little bit of downtime before I was released. And that test came through right on time and free to go.
And we're excited because that time is going to be cut even shorter for those people who have been vaccinated and those guests who are coming. So, Kathleen, we're really appreciative of you stopping by at the Welcome Arms.
A pleasure.
We are going to wrap up, and I think you have lunch somewhere, so
I
we
do.
don't want to delay
And so
your
I'm
lunch.
not going to miss that.
We don't want to delay that sensory experience. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
And we'll see all of those of you who are watching online back after lunch at 2:00, I believe, when we'll be joined by the crew from Odyssey.
Excellent.